And we're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rollsicle. I'm Nathaniel. I'm one of your hosts here, and I'm joined by Ashley, who is off screen. She could probably fit a hand in.
I could probably.
Oh,
Hi,
there
everyone.
it is. She's off screen. So she's off to that side, and I'm, of course, here actually doing the unboxing. And by the title of the video, the thumbnail of the video, everything about the video, you should probably know what this video is about. We are unboxing a commander deck here today. This one is Creative Energy from the Modern Horizons 3. You guys can kind of see it on the box, and we'll talk about that in a second. But before we jump into the video proper, I just want to say thank you guys for all the support. This is one of the first videos we're recording after being back in the new year. So we were off on holiday or vacation if you're American. I mean, I'm American, but I still say holiday.
You do.
But
I noticed in all your other videos when I was home.
But anyways, we're back from vacation. We're back from break, I guess is something I say as well.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to thank you guys for all the support that you guys have given us, because the channel's kind of been booming. And I mean, it's had its slower moments even since then, but it still has generally been doing so much better than it really ever was before. And that's all because of you guys. We also wanted to take this little bit of time just to say thank you guys so much for doing everything that you do for Rollsicle. And if you haven't liked the videos, subscribe, turn on notifications, any and all of it, so appreciated. It changes the world for us and really lets us do what we love doing. So thank you guys so much. You're the best. You're the bomb.com. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so, but
All right.
we really do appreciate it.
Commander Precons opening. So if you know me, you know that I have too many Precons. It's a known fact. It's not a question. I'm aware of it. That doesn't mean I'm going to change it. So we're going to contribute to the problem today, and we're going to open another Commander deck. This is the Modern Horizons Commander decks. I have not opened any of them yet, but the one that I bought them as a bundle, and the one that I'm kind of the least excited for is Creative Energy. So I decided that that's the first one we're going to open here, because if there's anything that can make this opening process more enjoyable and more special to me, it's going to be sharing it with you guys, and also sharing it with Ashley, because I've never actually opened a Commander deck with her. Well,
Except for the Doctor
Who ones, which we bought for her. So
I've never seen him open just like one of his own.
Those ones did not get videos. They probably didn't deserve. No, I'm joking. They were perfectly fine decks, but if you guys want to know anything about Universes Beyond, is that they tend to make slightly worse decks because they focus on sort of the flavor of everything, which makes sense to some degree because.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Doctor Who
The
ones have great
reason you're
flavor.
buying the deck is because of the flavor. So even if you look at like Fallout and stuff like that, they just don't tend to be quite as synergistic. That's not 100% the case. I mean, the Mothman Fallout deck's pretty good. I think Scrappy Survivors is okay. I don't own any of the Fallout decks. I haven't really ever played a Fallout game, so I didn't really have a reason to. I also don't watch Doctor Who, but Ashley does. So she was able to read the cards and be like, oh, I remember that episode. And I'm like, that's great. I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad that we bought these. What does it do?
Could not have told him what it does.
I
There's
also
too many
have a
words.
really bad, you can tell that we're just two different Magic players, right? Because the moment I look at a card, I read what it does, and I think about how that impacts the game. And the moment that she gets a card, she reads the little flavor text at the bottom of it, and she looks at the art.
That's not true anymore.
Is it? I feel
It's
like that's what you do
not.
first. I feel like that's what you do. You still
Okay,
read
with the
card.
Doctor Who ones, I always looked at the art first because the art was significant because I haven't watched Doctor Who in a long time.
Okay, so you think that's specifically a Doctor Who thing?
Yeah, I think I'm a lot more... Okay, it might also end up being a Bloomborough thing. We'll see.
You guys can see our ring light there.
But it is absolutely, I was definitely in the beginning when I first started playing with him a couple months ago. Now I don't necessarily think about how it impacts the game, but I think about, okay, well, what does this do? I understand what the cards say now, and y'all, that took months.
Alright,
tell you
so
that took, 3
we
months.
are going to understand what the cards do?
Yeah, to, actually be able to, in my own head, know what the cards do.
To read a card and
Without
think,
having to
how
ask
it would... Gotcha. So, without asking
It took, 3 months.
read a card and actually visualize, what is this going to do when I play it? How is it going to impact
With
the
Doctor
board?
Who, it never happened.
Some of the Doctor Who decks, I just gotta say, I know we're getting off tangent here. We're gonna get to this in literally, a minute. I promise. I guarantee. By the time that says 6 minutes, we're starting this. But, and I know it hasn't been 6 minutes in the video. It's just 6 minutes on a recording thing. But, Doctor Who, kind of needlessly complicated on some of those decks.
Yeah.
Most of those cards, paragraphs. I mean, paragraphs.
There's no flavor text on almost half the cards.
But anyways, okay, so Modern Horizons 3, for those of you that don't know, this is one of the big what do they call them? Like special sets. That's not what they call them. Premium sets, I think is what they call them, of the year for 2024, because obviously not 2025. We're barely into that year. It wasn't all she wrote, but the commander decks were pretty decent. These did go rather expensive. Now, this one in particular, you can usually find at about $40 to $60, which is about the average price of a commander deck. So that's pretty good. It's really the Eldrazi one and maybe the Landfall one that are rather expensive. But even when I bought these, I think I got them for like $50 a pop, so that was still pretty expensive. Now, this one is Creative Energy. It's Jeskai, and for all of you out there like Ashley, that means red, white, and blue. I'm just making fun of her. She's learning the color names. I don't even know all the color names, so that is actually a shot at myself as well. But I do know Jeskai.
Correct.
This one is, and doing it in Wooburg order, we have blue, red, and white. Creative Energy is the name, and our little example here on the front says energy counters and powerful payoffs. So I have to imagine it has something to do with energy counters. Also, this is completely random, but I just want to point out, don't have anything against this guy at the front. He looks pretty dope. He's got this cool like arm cannon thing going for him, but why the hell is he wearing a beanie? And it looks so out of place. Like, this just looks like it was photoshopped onto the image. You know what I mean?
And when I tell y'all this is the first thing you told me about this deck, not really anything else, just
No, I just legitimately remember when like these got spoiled, people thinking that they took the art from the box and threw a beanie on him because it just looks so added on.
yeah.
I don't know. Interesting enough. Okay, battle your friends with powerful creatures, spectacular spells in Commander, yada yada yada. You guys know what Commander does. I don't really need to say it. Now, Satya, I think is the name of him. Satya, Aetherflux Genius, Eccentric architect Satya is known for inventing the Aetherflux Reservoir. Okay, so I think that's a card, but I don't actually know enough about Magic to guarantee that that's a card. Helping to usher in the Great Aether Boom and a few other booms along the way. All right, so we're going to crack this bad boy open.
Can he open it in one go?
I mean, theoretically, he
Ooh,
can.
look at that. It's
Isn't
one of
that
the first
crazy?
ones.
All right, so they always say a little thing here. This one says, pull the plug on your foes. All right, so we are going to get this bad boy out. For those of you that have never opened a commander deck, this is what it looks like. You slide them out. They're in like this sort of pyramidal type shape. And then you just trash this. So that's part of why Ashley's here, is to help get stuff out of the way. Then you kind of have a couple of different things. First of all, we have this for in case I was trying to steal
thief.
stuff. So love that. That actually hasn't been in most of the commander decks I've ever opened. So
You order them online.
I ordered these ones online.
That's the weird thing. Why is
Yeah.
it there?
Online thief, guys. That's, you gotta be skilled. That's like you're making it harder for yourself at that point. All right, this is not the cleanest way to open this, but it is open.
Woo.
All right, so now this, for those of you that don't know, comes with a lot of pop-outs, but me and Ashley play enough Commander and own enough dice being TTRPG players that we don't need the pop-outs, so there you go. More trash for us. All right, so then we get into what's actually worth anything here. This is sort of a guide of how to play the deck and how to play Commander. We'll be reading that in a moment. This is the deck itself, all 100 cards plus the tokens, plus this. They're still doing the thick cardboard Commander at this point. And then we have in here our deck box, or at least what they generously call a deck box. I mean, it functions. And I'm allowed to say that because basically all of my commander decks are in these, because all of my commander decks are precons. So I'm allowed to say that it's not the best deck box, but it's functional. And a life spin wheel, in case you also don't own some form of device that can download the companion app. Which, to be fair, I don't want to make assumptions. So I'm glad that they include everything that you would need to play. All right, so then we just do a little bit of that, have it kind of fold in on itself, and boom, we have a deck. We'll see it in the deck box later, but it does show you it's a Jeskai, and then have your commander on there. Good old Satya. And then we also give that to Ashley to take off camera. Lastly, now we pass this off to her too, because it's trash.
Everything goes to Ashley.
We have the Modern Horizons 3 sealed product, not for resale, collector booster sample pack,
Ooh.
which is a single rare or mythic card and then a single wild card of what could be in a collector booster, which is supposed to be an incentive to pay more for these decks. Don't buy them for this. If you really want a collector booster, go pay $20, $30, $40 for a collector booster. And you know what? Don't do that. All right. We're going to set that off to the side. All right, let's jump into what the deck has to offer. Also, if you guys ever hear Ashley off to the side, I've encouraged her to share her opinions on things because I don't want this to just be what I think, right? Sometimes we disagree on cards. Adventuring gear sucks.
It doesn't. I watched that video this morning, and I'm so pissed that you said that.
It does. It's just garbage, but that's okay. I'm not mad at you for not knowing that. All right.
If suddenly the channel becomes just me, don't question it.
She loves me, guys. I promise.
Are you sure
All
about
right.
that?
Satya, the Aetherflux genius. As the inventor of the Aetherflux reservoirs, the eccentric Satya is one of two figures primarily responsible for ushering in the era of the Great Aether Boom, when Aether was refined and made accessible to all. Though historians tend to overemphasize the role of Avati Vaya, who discovered how to harness Aether in the first place, in reality, theirs was an equal collaboration in which both partners encouraged and inspired each other. Even during his own time, Satya was indifferent toward fame or recognition, happy to let Avati step into the limelight so he could focus on what he really cared about, new creations. Alright, so he's a pretty chill guy. As an architect and inventor, Satya was known for his frequent wild tangents and half-finishing works in progress. To be fair, I love beanies. It just seemed out of place.
Which is funny that you say that because I've never seen you wear a beanie.
I only own like two, and they're both at home. Like, it's never cold enough in Alabama to wear a beanie. You know what I mean? I guess it's because I'm also like adapted to the cold, but it's...
Yeah, I'm not.
No, what I mean is just the way that it's put on him. That looks right.
This does not.
This looks normal. I know you guys can't see that because the ring light's glaring off of everything known to mankind, but this art with his beanie, I don't know if I can get it to not be in the light. There we go. This art with his beanie looks perfectly fine. I have nothing against the beanie. It just looks like it's photoshopped on there in that particular art. Okay, back to where we were. Although he's best known for designing the Aetherflux reservoir, he's also credited with countless other inventions, including highly efficient Aether ship engine designs, as well as a variety of unsolvable puzzle knots. He devoted much of his time trying to perfect a foolproof gremlin repelling device, and it remained as one of his biggest frustrations that he was never able to find a permanent solution for those pests. That personally offends me because Gimbal Gremlin Prodigy was like my first deck, as crappy as that is, if you guys know what it is. Alright, we don't need to read the commander rules because I'm going to assume you guys know that, or if you want to, you can pause and read it if it's actually able to be seen in the video, I'm not sure. But we will read how to play the deck. So getting ready to assemble some engines. The energy mechanic makes a return, and there is no shortage of ways to use energy counters through Satya and a host of other outlets. The choice is yours. Spend your energy as fast as you can generate it, or bank it all in the reservoir to save for a huge combo turn. Along the way, discover powerful artifacts and creatures that enter the battlefield to good effect, and pair well with an energized Satya. Alright, and with that, we now stow this to Ashley. It should be noted to those of you that might try this at home, you will not have an Ashley to take everything away from you.
No.
That is not something that comes with the product.
Nope.
Alright, so now we see if we can open this, which is actually like folded in a stranger way than normal. So we're going to see if Nathaniel can break into this with his terribly short nails because he bites them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm not ashamed. I'm not lying about it, right? Like, I'm open about it. All right, then we pass the trash off to Ashley. And, of course, the very first thing that I like to do is I set aside the commander and all of the stuff in the back because they're going to go in their own place, essentially. Now, first thing I like to do before we do anything... Oh, also, you're going to get your typical, like, on your turn, do this stuff card. We have, like, 400 of these, so we throw them away at this point. But it's useful if you don't know how to play Magic or if you're trying to teach someone. You should have, like, 4 or 5 of them. We just happen to have way too many. Okay, so now, before we jump into anything else with the deck, I always like to read the commander. And the reason for this is because all the cards should theoretically make a lot more sense based on the commander. Now, I'm not sure you guys are going to be able to see this because of the light and the fact that it's written really small, but I'm going to do my best to get it up there for you guys. All right, so there you go. You can pause the video if you need to, but I'm also going to read it out loud. So he is a 3/5 for 1, a blue, a red, and a white. So 1 and a Jeskai, 3/5, menace and haste, which is pretty good. A 4-drop, 3/5 with haste and menace is acceptable. Now, whenever he attacks, you create a tapped and attacking token that is a copy of up to one other target non-token creature you control.
Okay.
Are we following?
I'm following.
We're following? Okay, so he taps. Whenever he attacks, you get to create a tapped and attacking token of a non-token creature.
That you control.
That you control. So you can't just copy your, like, opponent's Ghalta.
No.
But you can copy any creature that you have, essentially. As long as it's not legendary, obviously you're going to have an issue if it's legendary. But. Now, then you get 2 energy. At the beginning of the next instep, you sacrifice that token unless you pay an amount of energy equal to its mana value. So you get it to enter and attack. And that's why this deck is truly more of an ETB deck than it is an energy deck. Because you don't actually, if you build it around enter the battlefield effects, you don't really need the creatures to stick around. You just want to create the token, have it enter, and then you can sacrifice it.
Yeah, because it'll enter and attack at the same time.
This deck is going to kind of mix the, like, 3 different strategies all together. So
good times.
That's something that we need to think about. But, of course, we have, this is our thick cardboard piece. Yes. And then we have our regular one over there. Also, Ashley is going to be sleeving the cards after we look at them as I, like, pass them. Oh, that's interesting.
What? I can't see. He's looking at the laptop.
Okay, so we're going to pass this over here. All right, so for those of you that don't know what was happening with that card there, I have the chroma key turned on so that it will green screen the back of me, and it was seeing that as green and chrome keying it into the background. So.
Oh, that's too funny. For all of you that are wondering, they're going into yellow sleeves.
They are going into, like, yellowy gold sleeves. I think they're technically the gold ones, but they also look kind of yellow.
Yeah, it works.
But yeah, we thought it fit very, very fittingly to all of the, like, gold he's using in his stuff. So,
exactly.
There we go. And they'll get to see the finished deck at the very end. So they'll see the cards then. But, all right, so now that we see that, looking through our tokens a little bit, we have our energy token on the back of which we have a 1/1 servo. We have an Aetherborn that has stars for its stuff and a 1/1 Thopter. Illusion as stars for its stats and another servo. Phyrexian Mirror, 2/1, and another servo. Woo. A copy, which of course we figured we're going to have a bunch of these because we're making a lot of copies of stuff. And a treasure, copy, and a gremlin. Oh, that's adorable. So cute. And if Ashley ever wants to see a card, she might ask to see it because she's having to see these from a bit of a different perspective.
It's like sideways.
This is a copy with a Thopter on it. A construct that's a 6/12 with trample. Dear God, what makes that? Just a regular mirror, and then another Aetherborn with a servo on the back. All right, those are going to be our 10 tokens. And then now, we get to the part where I like to take the deck and find where the basic lands end. Because they always put the basic lands at the very back of the deck.
Oh, like Gremlin is cute.
And yeah, that's what I was saying. They always put our basic lands at the back of the deck, and they don't do anything other than what a basic land does. So I'm going to simply show you guys some of the art on here. This is one of the planes. In fact, and this is the other planes. These are the Modern Horizon 3 lands, so if you've seen those before, it would appear that these are the same ones. So. And then there are our mountain arts. So those are all the arts on the island, or not islands, on the basic lands, of which some of which are islands. But so Ashley's going to be sleeving those as we get the rest of the deck going. Then from there, I take this. I like to reveal things to myself because darn it, if I'm going to pay money, the deck's going to be exciting to open. So then we flip over the back and we see what we have. So Mystic Monastery, just a nice tri-land for us. Demolition Field. I don't know what this does. Let's see. We tap, add a colorless, pay 2, tap, sack. Destroy target non-basic land and opponent controls. That land's controller may search their library for a basic land. So this is land destruction, which I'm a little surprised they put into the deck.
A precon.
But you know what? These are supposedly some slightly high-powered decks. We have a Wayfarer's Bauble. If you don't know what that does. Ashley, if you ever want to know what a card does, and I assume that people know, because they're also getting to see it and read it. So I'm not going to read every card. If I don't think it's important, I'm going to put it up to the camera. Feel free to pause. I encourage you to pause. But we want this video to be sub 2 hours.
Yeah.
Swords to Plowshares. This is where we ask Ashley, which one is this? Is it the life gain or is it the go get a land?
This is the life gain.
It is. Good job.
Path to Exile is the go get a land.
It sure is. How do you remember it, out of curiosity?
I don't. I just guess every time.
Oh, wait, really?
Well, okay. It's always the opposite of what I think it's going to be because Plowshares feels like land. Plow. land.
Gotcha.
But then I remember, no, it's opposite.
But paths are land. So the way that I remember it is plow, right, is farming. And foods in Magic gain you life.
That's smart. Oh, this island's pretty.
Right?
Sorry, y'all. I see the cards at delayed speeds. Because, like, he's looking at them face it, like, for y'all to see
the
them.
Island that she's...
I am sitting to a corner.
The island she's talking about is the Tameo Cherry Blossom one, so...
Not you knowing exactly what it is.
It's, well, Tameo is just like, I think... I don't know if it's just white and blue or whatnot, but it's a... I think it's Japanese. If I'm wrong, it's one of the Oriental themes, and she's got the cherry blossoms that are very popular in the area. It's very pretty, very, very pretty.
Anyway,
all right,
sorry.
so it's Plowshares. Next, we have the Talisman of Creativity, which is, of course, the Izzet Talisman. Though, if that's what the art looks like, I've never had the Talisman without it being a special art. The Talisman of Creativity, for example, in like. The Doctor Who deck we just opened up is, I think, a guitar. So.
Oh, that's fair. Then in the one in Time Limit, what I run.
All right, first thing we have here is as a creature. Now, does Ashley actually know how energy works? And the real question is, do I even know how energy works?
I don't know. Read it. We'll find out.
So, when Whirler Virtuoso enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy, and then you can pay 3 energy to create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. So that's kind of why we have that token. But it also just gives you 3 energy, right? Now, the way that energy works, to my knowledge, it's kind of like mana, but it doesn't have a color. And it doesn't go away. So if you make 3, and then you make 2, and then you make 4, and then you make 5...
have, like, 12 sitting
you have, like, 14 energy in reserve that you can spend on things that really, if it's instant speed, it's instant speed. But it's basically another... I want to say mana source, but it's just another payment source, right?
Yeah.
Now, what I'm actually going to do is try to put these over here.
So I can steal them?
Yeah, I think I'll just put them, like, here, right?
Put them wherever you want. I can just take them every few cards.
Yeah, realistically, they don't have to be in a nice pile, so.
No.
All right, so next we have Glimmer of Genius. This is a scry 2, draw 2, then get 2 energy. So you're going to see a lot of these cards that do, simple draw spells, simple scry spells, those sorts of things. But if they have an energy payoff, they'll probably be the ones they put in this deck, or in this case, an energy creator, an energy source. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get an energy. That's really good if you have some go wide cards. Decoction module. Interesting. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Pay 4, tap, return target creature you control to its owner's hand. So it also gives you some protection. That's nice. Ashley's going to be killing it on the speed of this. Aether Hub. When it enters the battlefield, you get an energy. You get to tap it for colorless, or tap it, pay an energy, produce a mana of any color. Pretty powerful. Castle Ventress. Interesting. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you control an island. Tap for a blue or pay a bunch and scry 2. Not really sure why this is in here, but I guess, I guess it's there for a reason. Skyclave Apparition. Enters the battlefield. Exile up to 1 target non-land, non-token permanent you don't control with mana value 4 or less.
Okay.
Jeez. All right. When it leaves the battlefield, the exile card's owner creates an XX blue illusion creature token where X is the mana value of the exiled card. So it's like weird removal. But
yeah.
But again, it's removal when it enters. So when you make a copy of it, you get to remove something else. And when you make a copy of it, you get to remove something else. Now, they're going to get a creature once that copy dies, unless you can pay the energy to keep that copy on the battlefield.
And you just have to be careful with what you are picking, because it's not going to be back to its original power and toughness. It's going to be the mana cost. So if you pick something with 4,
that's true,
and it was originally a 2/2, it's going to go a 4/4.
Yep. Prairie Stream, just a basic land. Well, not basic land, but just a common land. Temple of Epiphany is the Izzet Scryland. A Solemn Simulacrum, so I'm definitely seeing them build into the ETB. And honestly, this one's even better, right? Because this one gets you a land when it dies. So if you make a copy of this, you're doing pretty good. You don't want this to stick around. You get all the benefits of Solemn Simulacrum if it enters and then dies. So
makes sense. I'm excited to see this one.
That's a perfect card for this deck. Temple of Triumph is the Boros Scryland. This is Port Town is white, blue, enters tapped unless you reveal plains or island.
I'm starting to actually learn what these cards are, like, by name.
Yeah, and there it is, folks. One of the most expensive cards in the deck. the coveted Farewell. One of the best
So good.
and greatest removal in the game right now. This can save a board state. I mean, it can really... If you really want to go back to just lands on the battlefield, this will do it for you. So
I was one off our game.
pretty wild. Yeah. Next, we have Professional Face Breaker. This is a human warrior. I think this is from New Capenna, maybe. 2/3 menace. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. So, again, that's not per creature that does damage, but it is per player that takes damage. So in multiplayer, you can get more than one of that. Sacrifice a treasure. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. So it is... Impulse Draw. He remembered it in this video.
He remembered
Just
it
not
like
in the
yesterday.
others. Midnight Clock. It's got hours counters, but I don't know if that's really necessary in this. I mean, it's a mana rock. It's not horrible. It can draw you cards if it gets all the way to the top. This is the Fury Calm Snarl is the reveal a mountain or plains land, or it enters tapped if you don't. Austere Command is a pretty variable. You get to choose 2. Destroy all artifacts, destroy all enchantments, destroy all creatures with mana value 3 or less, destroy all creatures with mana value 4 or greater. So it's kind of like...
You can kind of just...
It's a shitty Farewell.
Yeah.
Because Farewell is the same cost
Oof.
at instant speed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
It's exile, and
Yep.
you can choose as many as you want. So
Yep.
it's a really shitty Farewell. But it gives you another hit, right? Because if Farewell is the only one in your deck, you don't want that. Frostboil Snarl is the... Reveal a mountain or a island card. Aether Squall Ancient. Flying 6/6 for 7. Jesus Christ. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get 3 energy. Okay, so it's a major energy producer.
Yeah.
In that every upkeep, you get 3. You can pay 8. Return all other creatures to their owner's hands. Okay, so I stand corrected. You don't play this and get to the upkeep. You play this when you already have 8 energy, and then you activate that right away and return all other creatures to their owner's hands. So it does return your own creatures to their owner's hands, but then you just have a 6/6 flyer, so probably still a great card. But that's more what you do with it. You play it when you already have 8 energy, and then just bounce everything else to its owner's hands.
And then people are going to have to discard things.
Well, they'll have their
That
turn to
wouldn't
play
be
them back out, but yeah, they might. And if they have tokens, the tokens die and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So.
It'll be good.
Flying. Whenever Aether Storm Rock or another creature enters the battlefield, you get an energy. So this can kind of stack with the other artifact that we saw that was get an energy per creature that enters, and you can start getting a lot of energy. Now, whenever it attacks, you can pay 2 energy. If you do, you put a +1/+1 counter on it and tap up to 1 target creature defending player controls. That's pretty nice. Helps you get through, because I assume it's flying.
Yep.
Is it? Yeah, okay. So you can tap down their flyer. Confiscation Coup. Choose target artifact or creature. You get 4 energy. Then you may pay an amount of energy equal to that permanent's mana value. If you do, gain control of it.
Oh.
That's nice. That's really nice. Now, if you gain control of a commander, it doesn't change zones. And so, therefore, they don't get an option to put it in the command zone.
Oh.
So and it gives you 4 energy. So that card alone is going to be able to go get you like Sidar, who's a 4-cost commander. But if they happen to have a 6 or 7-cost commander, as long as you have that extra 2 or 3 energy, you can still play it. You can still use it to take control of their commander. And sometimes you don't even want to do that just to power yourself up. You just want to power them down because their whole engine might be their commander.
True.
Think like the Eowyn deck.
Oh, God.
Angel of Invention. This is a mythic here. We have 5 mana, 2/1. Wow. Flying, Vigilance, and Lifelink, though, so that's quite the keywords on it. It's got Fabricate 2. So when this creature enters the battlefield, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, or create 2 1/1. I need to get these closer to the camera. It's my first unboxing, well, second unboxing.
But first, real unboxing, going through every card.
Flying, Vigilance, Lifelink, Fabricate 2, which Fabricate means put that many +1/+1 counters on it, or create 2 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature tokens.
Which is why there's so many servos.
Other creatures you control then get +1/+1. So you're really creating 2 2s as long as she sticks around.
Got it.
But you can also play her out as a 4/3 Flying Vigilant Lifelinker, which is fine. I don't think this is really mythic quality, but, you know, to each their own.
knows?
To each their own. All right, Aetherworks Marvel. Whenever a permanent you control is put into a graveyard, you get an energy. So now we're getting them for playing them and getting them for dying. Tap and pay 6. Look at the top energy. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast a spell from among them without paying its mana cost. Ooh. That is a great energy payoff. Assuming you can produce enough. Combustible Gearhulk. Hopefully you guys have seen this before, but if not, it is a big first striker that also, when it enters the battlefield, you can have... when it enters, target opponent may have you draw 3 cards. If they don't, you mill 3, and then they take damage equal to the mana value of the cards you milled. So if you mill like a 5 cost, a 4 cost, and a 3 cost, they're going to take 12 damage. Or they let you draw those 3 cards. A great enter the battlefield effect. Again, this commander really prefers ETB and just kind of also cares about energy.
Yeah.
It's less an energy commander and more an ETB commander right now. Like, I would just take out some of these cards and put in better enter the battlefield effects. Let's see. Coalition Relic. Tap, add a mana of any color. Tap, put a charge counter on it. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, remove all charge counters from it and add 1 mana of any color for each charge counter removed this way. Seems interesting. I don't really know how that works, but... Because you have to do that bottom ability.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. That'll be in my head.
Yeah.
All right. Shivan Reef is actually really good. This is the Izzet damage land, essentially, right? So you can only do blue or red if you take a damage, but it doesn't enter tapped or anything, so that's nice. Here we have the Azorius damage land. And I don't know if that's their official name, by the way. I'm not great with the official names of the lands yet, but do a damage to you if you want to produce a white or blue. Here we have it. Careful with this card. I'm 99% sure it's the most expensive one in the deck.
Oh, Achroma's Will.
Achroma's Will?
Yep.
It is wildly powerful.
It's like $10.
Creatures you control gain flying, vigilance, and double strike until end of turn for 4 mana is already insane. Creatures you control gain a lifelink, indestructible, and protection from each color is already insane. And if you have your commander, you get them both.
Oh, wow. Isn't this the other... Not other side, but didn't we also... No, never mind.
There was a lot there from Ashley.
Nothing, my brain is...
Where were you going with that?
What was the thing that I pulled? It was also Achroma's, but I don't remember what it was.
Achroma's Memorial.
Okay.
Or Monument or something like that.
Something.
It's one of the two. It's Memorial or Monument or something like that. So it basically... That card does like all the stuff the Memorial does or something like that. Or at least very close. Now that only does it for like a turn. But the Monument or Memorial is like 7 mana artifact. This is a 4 mana instant, you know.
Got it. Okay.
Now, and the Monument or Memorial is also, I think, just protection against like black and red.
Yeah.
Whereas this has protection against every color, so it's a little different.
Cool.
But
I was curious.
Yeah, it is essentially the Monument or Memorial is like all your creatures are buffed all of the time. This is sort of, they're buffed for 1 turn, but they're buffed a hell of a lot. They have vigilance, and you get all of it if you even just own your commander. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wildly powerful card. I actually was very happy to pick up this deck just knowing there's one of those in there, so I can always put it in any deck with white.
Yeah.
It's a single white pip. You can put it in any deck with white. All right, so this is, I believe they call these filter lands, but I'm not 100% sure. It's where you can... Lands? Filter. So you can take a white or a blue, and then so you pay a white or a blue, tap it, and then you can add either 2 white, 2 blue, or a white and a blue. So you can turn your white or blue into the other one if you need to. Interesting cards. Legion Loyalty. This is an 8 mana card. Creatures you control have Myriad, so this is going to be a horrible card playing 1v1 like we normally do. Myriad is whenever your creature attacks, for each opponent, you make a copy of it that's also attacking that opponent. So for your ETB triggers, you attack with something with an ETB. For each opponent, you make a copy, and you get the ETB for all of them. It's a great enter the battlefield card. Just not the best if you're playing more of a brawl-style commander game, 1v1, which is what I play more often than not. But that is not a shot against the deck. Most commander decks should be themed around 4 players because that's how most people are going to play the game.
Absolutely.
Goldspan Dragon. I've heard the name of this card before, so maybe it's decent. It's a mythic. Flying haste 4/4 for 5. Whenever it attacks or becomes the target of a spell, create a treasure token. So if you copy it, even if you don't keep it around, you're going to get that treasure token. And treasures you control have tap, sack this artifact, and add 2 mana of any color instead of 1 mana. Okay, so it just doubles your treasures. That's wild. And you don't need to keep it around, because if you have the one to make the copy of, you really don't need that effect twice. No. So, that's a good card to have in the deck, even if it's not... I feel like it's probably worth a couple dollars, right? There's no way that's not worth a couple dollars.
I could tell you.
Coveted Jewel is a really fun card. I love this card. It makes the game go crazy, right? So this card is one where... It enters, you get 3 cards, you get to tap it for 3 mana. It sounds so broken, but then it works kind of like the Monarch, where if someone hits you, they get access to it. They immediately draw 3 cards and they untap it so they can tap it for 3 mana. So it just kind of like bounces back around to people. If you're smart, you try to play it when it can't be taken from you, but it adds chaos to the game. It's in the Chaos Incarnate starter commander deck, and I just love it in there because the goal of that deck is to incite chaos.
The Goldspan Dragon, $8.
Yeah, okay.
$7.57.
Okay, so it is the second most expensive card, more than likely.
It is.
Just not as good as an Akroma's Will, or at least not as valuable as an Akroma's Will. Brutaclad, which is a very, very popular... this is where you get the Phyrexian Mirror.
Okay.
Creature token. So 6 mana, 4/4 creature tokens you control have haste, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, you create a 2/1 blue Phyrexian Mirror artifact creature token. Then you may choose a token you control. If you do, each other token you control becomes a copy of that token. So you make like a 6/6 token.
Okay.
And then you're making all these mirrors and all these treasures and all these, and then you make them all copies of that 6/6.
Okay.
A lot of people actually suggest, if you know Gimbal Gremlin Prodigy, a lot of people suggest scrapping that deck and just building a Brutaclad deck out of the blue and the red cards from Gimbal. Because Brutaclad is much more powerful. Ah! There he goes.
Being not careful with your cards. So.
Yeah. Oh, this guy looks cool. Grenzo the Havoc Raiser. It's a Goblin Rogue. This guy looks like he's a much bigger than a 2/2. But, we'll see Ashley's opinion on that in a moment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you get to choose one. You can go target creature that player controls, or you can exile the top card of their library and then be able to cast it. Nice. Not for free, but any mana of any color can be spent to cast it. So, we like card copying abilities.
That's not a 2/2. There's no way that...
Okay, I thought you meant like it literally wasn't a 2/2, and I was like, did I read it wrong, or... Me or Battlesphere people. It's adorable. It's cute. It's powerful. I love it. Again, if you don't know, you get to create some mirrors when it enters, and then when it attacks, you may tap X untapped mirrors you control. If you do, it gets +X/+0, and then deals some damage to a player or planeswalker, which is... it can be used as a win con if you have enough mirrors. So, it's pretty powerful. Again, ETB, make 4 mirrors. So you just copy it, ETB, get 4 mirrors, and yeah.
That's so cute.
I'm really starting to see, this is the damage for Boros land. I'm really starting to see that this is just an enter the battlefield effect.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen a lot of cards I'm going to bother to pay his energy to actually keep around.
Fair.
You know what I mean? I definitely think if I'm upgrading this, I'm leaning on the enter the battlefield effect. All right, this is the white-blue Scryland, or Azorius. If I'm going to try to keep using the words so that maybe I and Ashley will get a little more used to them. Azorius Flyers. Think the first flight deck. All right, Bident of Thassa. This is a good one. This one is whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. So for each creature that's dealing combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. And then you can actually tap it, pay a little bit, and tap it. And creatures your opponents control have to attack. So you can sort of play a little bit goaty. Now, they are able to attack you, but they have to attack so you can sort of get them to swing their smaller creatures into your bigger guys.
And you can eat them.
Aether Sphere Harvester. This is interesting. Artifact of Vehicle. Now, vehicles are an interesting thing, but when it enters, you get 2 energy. So honestly, if this is a creature and you choose to copy it, when you do that, or when he attacks and you do that, you get 2 energy from him, and you can copy this to get 2 energy from this. So you can kind of get 4 energy a turn. You can pay an energy, and it gains lifelink until end of turn. That's pretty nice. And
nice.
it only takes 1 power to crew it. So you can crew it with a mirror or something like that, and have a lot of fun that way. All right, Aether Geode Miner. Let's see what we got. Whenever it attacks, you get 2 energy, and you can pay 2 energy to exile it, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So you can attack with it, get 2 energy, pay the 2 energy, exile it, then return it to the battlefield if you have like ETB effects or something like that. Or, again, you can just copy this and get 2 energy with your commander. So all good things. Now, I think we only get to do that when our commander attacks. So I'm a little upset I haven't seen more protection for our commander. Because I feel like they're just going to get eaten pretty quickly. But, we'll see. Aether Tide Whale. When it enters, you get 6 energy. Wow. Flying 6/4. And then pay 4 energy. You can return it to its owner's hand. So you just copy that to get a shit ton of energy. Lightning Runner. Double strike hasted 2/2 for 5. Jesus Christ. Whenever it attacks, you get 2 energy. Then you may pay 8 energy. Here it is. If you do, untap all creatures and have another combat phase. Very powerful. Probably, I don't know. My brain's not racking enough, but I guarantee you, if you have this, and then you have the whale, and you have your commander can attack, give you 2 energy, copy the whale to get 6 more, that's 8, so you pay this, get another combat, repeat, and you have infinite combats, so. Found an infinite combo in the deck. Whoop, whoop. Whoop. Found one. We did it, guys. We broke cards that say have an extra combat. That's not that hard to do. All right, whenever Gonti's Aether Heart or another... This is such a cool... I love Gonti. He's the commander for the Thief deck.
Got it.
So I just like him as a person, or as a character. Now, whenever Gonti's Aether Heart or another artifact enters... Wow. Or another artifact enters the battlefield, get 2 energy. Whew. So make 4 mirrors, get 8 energy...
That's insane.
Crazy. Pay 8 energy, you can exile it, and take an extra turn?
Interesting.
Whoo! Wow. Massive energy payoff card. If this is actually a new card from this deck, this goes in every energy deck you ever have seen, but I love the combination of energy and artifacts. I opened this deck because I'm not that excited for it, and I'm starting to get excited for it. My brain is thinking of builds. Gonti's Aether Heart or something like that. Pretty cool. All right, next we have Conversion Apparatus. This is a mana rock for 3, though, but you can pay 3, tap it, and get 3 energy. Or you can tap it, pay 3 energy, and add 3 mana in any combination. Now, you're probably not going to use it to get energy unless you have a win con, but you can use the energy you have to massively ramp with this, which is pretty nice. Because honestly, if you already have the 3 energy, you can get your 3 mana you've spent on it back the turn it comes out.
True.
Aurora Shifter. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you get that much energy. It's a 1/3 for 2. At the beginning of combat, you may pay 2 energy. When you do, it becomes a copy of another target creature you control, except it still has the ability of whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you get that many energy. So, yeah, you turn it into something that has evasion and hits for more than 2 energy, and you're doing pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty cool card. Stone Idol Generator. This is where our 6/12 with Trample comes from. Whenever a creature you control attacks, you get an energy. There's a lot of energy generators in this deck. Tap it, pay 6 energy, and create the 6/12 construct with Trample. That 6/12 artifact construct is a great example of what you would want to make with Brutaclad. And then you make all of your tokens become copies of the 6/12 with Trample. So if you have 10 food, 12 treasured, you just have that. You have 22 6/12s. Yeah, you probably win the game. Overclocked Electromancer. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 3 energy. If you do, you put a +1/+1 counter on him. That doesn't seem broken. When it attacks, you double its power until end of turn. That seems a little better. And then whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, if that creature was dealt excess damage, you get X energy. Where X is the excess damage. Okay, I see how that's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
A lot of energy producers in this deck, I gotta say. I mean, for a deck that seems like it should be a little more focused on ETB, I think they did a arguably good and or bad, depending on how you look at it, of like splitting the two themes.
Yeah.
But I could see you drawing a lot of good ETB stuff, but not enough energy to really do much with, you know. Creature spells you cast have Demonstrate. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. Okay, see, that's good, but not good in a 1v1 sense as well, so...
Nope, you're not going to
again,
that, because I get it.
You're going to want it for ETB triggers, and you can use it in, like, multiplayer games to...
Build alliances.
Yeah, I was going to say politic, right? Because someone's popping off and going to win the game. You can be like, great, I can remove one of their things, and I'll give you the copy, and make me a copy, so then I can remove 2 of their things, and you can remove a 3rd thing from them, and maybe we can stabilize the game and stop them from arch enemying.
Because I'm not the problem. They're the problem.
Razorfield Ripper. This is an equipment rhino.
Interesting.
Whenever it or equipped creature attacks, you get energy. You get 1 energy. Then it gets +X until end of turn, where X is the amount of energy you have in like Reservoir.
Okay.
That's pretty powerful. You can make a big creature if you have like 12 energy in Reservoir, and then you put this on something. Now, you can reconfigure. Okay. Pay 2 or that. Attach to target creature you control or unattach from a creature. Reconfigure only as a sorcery. While attached, this isn't a creature. Gotcha. So it can be a 3/3, or you can equip it. Because it can be a creature while not equipped, it has to have an ability to unequip it without equipping it to something else.
Yeah.
Because equipment doesn't normally have that ability. So, pretty cool card. I'm like low-key really excited to play this deck. I'm sure you guys can kind of hear it in my voice. All right, Blaster Hulk, 8 mana. Jesus Christ. 8/8. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each energy you've paid or lost this turn. Great, so you pay energy into something and it costs like 2 red, and you get an 8/8 with haste. Whenever it attacks, you get 2 energy, then you may pay 8. When you do, it deals 8 damage divided as you choose among up to 8 targets. That's a really good card. Really good removal. I realized it was off the screen the entire time. There you go, guys. I need to like look over there and make sure it's on camera when I'm doing this. Oh my gosh. I'm getting tired of talking. 8 mana, 9/9.
Jesus Christ.
Flying Vigilance Trample. Whenever you attack other creatures you control, get +2/+2 and gain Indestructible until end of turn.
Holy shit.
And it has Unearth, which what that means is you can return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gets haste, but then you exile it at the end of the turn, essentially.
That,
at the
and
next
your
end step,
extra combat?
You can do that with pay 8, but yeah, this and extra combat if you have a way to get the extra mana and stuff. So yeah, I mean, again, kind of off screen, but I'm doing my best for you guys. I promise. Hourglass of the Lost. Also, I'm really only reading the cards that I don't know, so this goes to show how many cards are in this deck that I don't know, which kind of makes sense because I don't have another energy deck. So
you also
all
haven't
the energy
opened a
cards.
single Modern Horizons.
Well, they don't come from the Modern Horizons set. So.
No, but still.
And I opened a bundle, so I have a couple Modern Horizons cards. I opened up one of the Giants. I don't remember which one. Or is it Titan? I don't know. All right, 2 and a white artifact. Tap it to add a white, so it is a mana rock. And you put a, time counter on it. Then you can tap it, remove X time counters from it, and let's see. And exile it, and then return each non-land permanent card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it's not X or less, that would be really broken. It's X. So you have to do very specifics with this card. Ooh, almost grabbed 2 there, or I did grab 2 there. Aether Refinery. If you would get 1 or more energy, you get twice that much energy instead. 6 mana artifact. Tap it, you get an energy, then you may pay 1 or more. If you do, create an XX black Aetherborn creature token where X is the amount of energy paid this way. Oh boy. These are some big boys. I don't know what you guys can't see it. I have no idea what Ashley's doing off camera over here. She's like playing solitaire with empty sleeves.
I'm not. I'm just trying to figure out how many more sleeves I have. Leave me alone. I'm not looking at the cards while you're reading them. I need to do something.
Localized destruction. There might be a better way to do this unboxing. I don't know what it would be, but
This works.
it works. You sure?
It works. I'm just gonna play with sleeves. Don't
Are
mind me.
you enjoying it?
I am.
All right. You get energy. You get 1, and then you may pay 1 or more. If you do, each creature you control with power equal to the amount of energy paid this way gains indestructible until end of turn, and then you destroy all creatures.
Ooh.
Very interesting card. Kind of works, kind of doesn't. I'm not sure how much I like this one, but you know what? It's only going to do something in an energy deck, so you might as well give it a shot. Right?
Fair.
Might as well try it. All right, next we have Filigree Racer. Enters the battlefield, you get 4 energy. Whenever it attacks, you may pay 2. When you do, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains Jump Start until end of turn. I do not know what that means. You may cast that card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to its other costs. And it's a crew 1. Interesting. Oh, I just want to see a card I know. All right, 5 mana, flying, lifelink, 4/5 Sphinx. Whenever you gain life, you get that much energy.
Dang.
And then you can pay white. This is very powerful. Pay white, blue, tap it, and then pay any amount of energy to draw that many cards.
Wow.
Yeah, so pay like 6, 7, 8 energy and draw 6, 7, or 8 cards.
That's crazy.
I think there's a Reliquary Tower in this deck, and I haven't seen it yet.
Probably. We haven't seen the Soul Ring.
True. Command Tower.
I haven't seen any of it.
So yeah. Okay, so we're gonna see.
There.
We're gonna see the cards that I've seen before. All right. Whenever an artifact or an artificer enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1. If you do, you get 2 energy. Pay 6 energy, sacrifice it, draw 3 cards. So this is finally an uncommon, something that's not stupid broken. I mean, they're not all stupid broken, but honestly, this deck seems like it functions. There it is, y'all. She predicted it. The Soul Ring. You should know what it does. Hashtag ban it.
No. This is the thing that saves my games 9 times
All
out of
right,
10.
there's the Arcane Signet. Hashtag ban it.
No.
These are all cards that, for the record, are way more powerful than anything else of their kind and are only accepted because there's so many of them. Burnished Heart. Interesting. I'm not sure if I would like... I mean, I guess it's fine. It's good. I guess it's acceptable ramp in this deck because it's an artifact creature. You kind of want that in this deck, so... You can make copies of it and then pay and sack it if you really need lands, but you probably don't have the mana to do that if you really need lands. There it is, the best land known to Commander.
Command Tower.
There it is, everyone. It's been a while since I've seen the normal Command Tower art. This is like the older Command Tower art, right? They have like a newer one and then an older one. This is the older one, so they kind of have gone back to it, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe I've just been opening too many Doctor Who decks. Been a while. All right, Talisman of Progress. This is what I remember the talisman's looking like. This is your Azorius one. I have like 12 of these, but a great mana rock. Here we have is this the bounce land? Yeah, this is the Azorius bounce land. So, fun fact: if you play this on turn 1, you still have to return a land to your hand, and the only land that you'll be able to return is it. So you will play it tapped and then bounce it back to your hand. Don't do that.
No. I'm pretty certain I did that once.
This is the Is It bounce land. Yep.
Ooh.
We're getting there. This is, let's see, Tezzeret's Gambit. You can pay 3 and a Phyrexian blue to draw 2 cards and then proliferate.
He's got a confused look on his face. The man does not know what's happening.
I guess proliferate probably, because it says any number of permanents or players, give them each another counter of each kind. I think player, you can choose yourself and give yourself another energy. But
Or creatures. And there's creatures that want.
There's creatures that have counters on them, but not a ton. It's definitely not the best one. Okay, so I guess that is what the Is It Talisman looks like, because this looks a little different. I don't know if I have another Boros one, so. Here's the Boros Talisman. Red, white. Talismans are great mana rocks to have, even if I take this deck apart someday, which, knowing me, is never going to happen, because I never take my decks apart. But someday we'll get there. Is it Generatorium? Is it Generatorium? If you would get 1 or more energy, you get that many plus 1 instead. You can tap, draw a card, activate only if you've paid 4 or lost 4 or more energy this turn.
Interesting.
Pretty cool. We love card draw. If something says, Scurry of the Gremlins. This is adorable. When Scurry the Gremlin enters the battlefield, create 2. Oh, this is just a Modern Horizons 3 card. This is just from the set. This is just from Modern Horizons 3. But it's playable. There's a lot of Modern Horizons 3 cards that are energy based, so they obviously threw some of them into the deck, but those will be good upgrades to this deck, right? Because they like to theme at least 1 or 2 of the commander decks around themes from the sets that come out, right? So that's why you get like, I don't know what a good example of that would be. There's like food in Lord of the Rings, so you have like the Hobbit food deck or that sort of stuff. All right, what we got here? When it enters tapped, let's see, enters, you get 3 energy, and then you can pay energy to add 1 mana of any color. So it's an acceptable mana rock, but nothing crazy. All right, I've seen this card from Modern Horizons 3. It's like banned in some of the non-commander formats, and I'm really not sure why. First strike 2/1 for 2. When it enters, you get 2 energy. Then, if you cast it from your hand, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card by paying an amount of energy equal to its mana, rather than paying its mana cost. This is really powerful for this deck, because you can copy it with your commander and just kind of cast cards for free. But I don't know. I don't know why it's broken in other formats. There's got to be a reason, because every time I boot up Arena, it's like, that card is banned. And I'm like, I know. You've told me 14 times. What? Is this actually working for you? Because I'm not in your perspective of this. Like,
what do you mean?
Like this style of unboxing.
Yeah.
Unstable Amulet. Enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. I feel like I've said something along those lines probably 40 times now, yeah. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, it deals a damage to each opponent. Oh, again, this is just from Modern Horizons 3. Tap, pay 2 energy, exile the top card of your library, you may play it. So, there you go. Some impulse draw, which again, it's not as good as card draw, but it's better than nothing. Also from Modern Horizons 3, I actually remember this card from the, 2 Modern Horizon 3 drafts I did, which is not many. Landfall, get an energy. Tap, pay 6 energy, draw 3 cards. So this is just a draw cards off of energy card. That's the only reason it's in this deck.
Got it.
Although I guess if you made multiple copies of it, you could maybe get a lot of energy off of landfall, but that's not exactly what you're going for. All right, tap, you get some energy, pay 2, tap target creature, pay 3, draw a card, pay 4, you can crew it instead of have someone crew it. It's pretty good. It's from the main set. So I guess they just put all the cards that are from the Modern Horizons 3 set together here at the end. Yep. We have Jolted Awake, which is actually a common from it. Choose up to 1 target artifact or creature card in your graveyard. You get 2 energy. Then you may pay an amount of energy equal to its mana value. If you do, return it to the battlefield. But pretty good in a deck that's going to make this much energy. And then last but not least, we should have the Ult Commander, who is, I don't know, Kaith? Is that how you say it? Kaith? I don't know. Famed Mechanist. Fabricate 1. Other non-token creatures you control have Fabricate 1. And then you can pay 2 and tap them to either populate or proliferate. Which is pretty good. Pretty good. If I'm not mistaken, and I might be, if I'm not mistaken, if you populate the token that you create with him, the commander, when I say him, then the copy of the copy that you make doesn't have the sack at the end of turn.
Okay.
So you can sort of avoid that by making a copy of it. But I'm not 100% sure. Go check the rules for me. All right. And so that, if I can grab the whole thing, it's a rather thick boy. We'll do that in just a second. Oh, should be.
You want the commanders?
Yeah, that's fine. The deck in all of its 100 card glory. So huge shout out to Ashley off to the side here, who got all of this sleeved up for us. And there she be. A lot of cards, a lot of stuff going on, but honestly, I'm kind of excited to play it. I'm kind of excited to play the deck at some point. So, all right, we're going to set this off to the side with Satya sitting on top there for everyone to see. Oh. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we're going to put it there and pray. I mean, it's in the camera, so that, yeah. All right. Last but not least, we're falling apart here, people. We have the Modern Horizons 3 Collector Booster, because why not? Let's open this bad boy up. Ashley's at the ready to see what the cards are worth. I only said that to get her ready because she wasn't at the ready. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get anything crazy from this. Again, don't buy these for this reason. It's not worth it. But we will see what we get here. We get... Oh my gosh, crazy. Would you look at that? It's the token that comes that doesn't do anything. All right, ready and reveal. Shoop. Our uncommon is Meltdown in the old border. But this is like... It's got like the promo little thing at the bottom of it. This genuinely
That's a
could be
$1.58 card.
valuable. Does it, the foil version?
The foil is about $1.76.
Look at that. We profited a tiny bit with this. We got a little bit extra value out of it. And you looked at the old border too?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. And then our rare or mythic is White of the Reliquary. A black-green zombie knight. But it is the full art. Of course, you do get the some sort of different art style of the cards that you pull.
Is it foil?
No.
It is
Not worth much.
$2.48.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Holy crap! Okay, so out of nowhere, we actually got, what, $4-ish off of this little pack. But don't expect that normally, and honestly... It still is not, like, $4 more is not worth why you would buy this ever. So don't do that. But it is a little nice bonus. Vigilant 2/2 for 2. White of the Reliquary gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. So honestly, you can play him out as a pretty big boy. He can't go in my night deck because he's got green in him. But tap him, sacrifice another creature, search your library for a land card and put... Oh. Okay. I understand why he's $2.48 or whatever. Tap him, sack another creature, search your library for a land card, put onto the battlefield tapped. Yeah. Put that in a deck with, reassembling skeleton, and you have every turn go get an extra land. Oh gosh, black-green. Golgari?
I don't know.
I think.
I don't know why you're looking at me.
Y'all. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Black, green, Golgari, that's what I'm saying. And there we have it. Putting him back in the middle here. Shwoop. Satya, the Aether Flux genius. We did it. We opened the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. Quickly, what do you think, Ashley? What do you think? Having heard the cards, what do you think?
It'll be interesting to play against this one because I will get to... For all the Doctor Who ones, we only play Doctor Who against each other.
Yeah.
So I always play Timey-Wimey. But for this one, I just get to pick from any of the, 28 decks we own.
She wants to play.
I don't even know where to start with what I would play against this.
I'm going to give it its first shuffle here on
Go
camera.
For it.
Continue sharing your thoughts, but yeah, that's okay. That was all her.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
For those of you wondering, Mana Box says that the full deck itself is about...
Oh, that's a good thing, yeah.
$52 and $45 with the commander. Obviously.
There it is, folks.
It retails for God knows what.
There. And that was nice. That was clean. These sleeves that we buy are super cheap, but honestly, they shuffle really nice. Can you get another one in there? I probably made the camera shake a bunch by doing that.
That's fine.
That was probably a bad idea. Swoop. There it is.
Honestly, you can find this one for $40, you guys.
Yeah, you can find this one for $40.
It's not that bad.
It's worth a little bit more than that, but do not, I repeat, do not buy this deck for value. You're never going to resell these cards for more than the $40 you're paying for it. But if you think the deck sounds cool, you can pick it up for an acceptable price. After opening it, I'm actually excited to play it. I think that it could be upgraded really easily with a bunch better ETB cards and scrapping some of the energy theme. Or you lean even heavier into the energy theme, take some of these cards, and maybe find a better energy commander to actually run. But I don't know if there's another one out there, so I can't give you a suggestion on which one that would be. If you had to rate it, having not played it, what would you give it out of 10? How excited would you be to play against and or play this deck?
I'm a little scared to play against it. It seems powerful. I think I'm gonna lose. I think you're
Okay,
gonna get your win
but it
pretty
seems
quickly.
powerful. So what would you give it on a scale of 1 to 10? Like from that, like hearing it, you're like, okay, this sounds
I
pretty
think
good.
I'm gonna
right?
give it a 7 because I think it needs to
Give it a
stick
7?
to something.
Yeah,
it needs
I
to
think-
pick entering, or it needs to pick energy.
Yeah. As
And it
someone
doesn't.
that has opened, like, as you said, 20-something decks at this point, I've opened them up, I've read a theme, I've opened the cards and read it. Now, to be fair, this is obviously going to be more powerful, hopefully, than, like, a starter commander deck, because price point, you're paying twice, 3 times as much. But honestly, reading it, I'm really excited. I think I land right about the same place you do. I'd give it about a 7. Maybe a 6 just because of that lack of theme, but you guys know me, I give actual number ratings. Not everything gets a 7, so if it's getting a 7 or a 6, it's because I'm actually excited to play it. It means it's above average in my brain. So very excited for this deck. I think that covers everything, right?
I think so. Once we eventually play it and this comes
Alright.
out, we will put either in the description or in the comments.
You know what? Yeah, that's a
One.
great place. In the description or in the comments, yeah, we'll have what we think of it, and we'll each give it another review out of 10
After we've seen
after
it.
we've seen it be played. Other than that, like we said at the very beginning, feel free to like the video, comment down below, or subscribe to the channel. Any and all of it is greatly appreciated. You guys, I don't know. You guys make Rollsicle what it is. We love you guys with all of our hearts. We can't wait to make more videos for you, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, may the rolls be ever in your favor. If you picked up this deck, let us know if you liked it, and if you didn't, let us know if it looks good. We'll see you guys in the next one, and until then, peace out.
Bye, y'all.